What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Little Effects, back at it again with another market forecast video, guys. Today is 2/13/23. I think we're on volume 8, volume 7 and volume 8 now. Been doing, I've been excited doing these weekly webinars, weekly markup calls for you guys. I hope it's helping a lot. We just had our 2-day indices class over the weekend. It was super great. We got a lot of good feedback from our members, so I'm super excited about that. If you guys want to purchase those recordings, you can go over to www.littleeffects.com. Like I said, it was a 2 days indices class, so we spoke about how to trade US 30, how to trade NAS, and even how to trade gold on that call. So definitely take advantage of that because as you guys may see, I only like to trade indices now for the most part. I look at gold from time to time, but majority of my trades are been focused on US 30 NAS for the most part. So we're gonna go ahead and go over US 30 right now. So we can see here that on a weekly time frame, we have been in this consolidation area. So for the last 2 weeks, we've been closing with dojis. So that's letting us know that there's some indecision in the market. This upcoming week, we do have CPI news, which is a plus because that I'm pretty sure that will be moving the market. So we have CPI on Tuesday at 7:30 a.m., which is Valentine's Day. So that is always a plus because whenever you have, big earnings reports or big news events, you'll see that the market likes to push and, it likes to give a big push inside of the, in either direction. So we'll look for that this week. So the weekly time frame, we don't really have a bias yet because it's not really telling us a different story that it has been from the last few weeks. On the daily time frame, we can see here still pretty much consolidation, focusing on this range. So this little box right here, we do have a lot of wick exhaustion to the bottom side here and some wick exhaustion to the top here. So that's something that we have to take advantage of. But we can see here on the daily time frame, we still are forming higher highs and higher low points here throughout this area. So that's something that we have to pay attention to because as long as they're forming higher highs and higher lows, then technically we're in an uptrend. So I could see price potentially pushing up just based off of this daily structure. Now on a 4-hour time frame, you can see the details a little bit better. So higher low points throughout this area, higher low, higher low, higher low. And then we can see here also that we have this bullish variation type pattern, letting us know that there's a lot of bullish momentum at this area. So this particular level of support, we have a lot of bullish momentum. So as I drop down to the smaller time frames, we can see here on this 1 hour that I have this trend line. I'm trying to see if price is going to respect this trend line or not, but ultimately you can see this structure here that we had this impulse, this correction, this continuation, price played out, and then we had a brand new breaker structure, impulse, correction. So I'll be looking for price to come to this negative 27 TP based off of this minor structure fib right here. But ultimately, I need to see what price does once price hits that negative 27 CP. So for the right now move, like I said, I'm looking for a price to go to this negative 27. Currently, that is about 90 points to that TP during New York Stock Exchange open. So about in an hour, you can see price potentially may pull back just a little bit and then push up to that area before we're looking to see if we're going to get that fall. Also, if we break past this negative 27 target, the next target will be this trend line. So we can see here on this 4-hour time frame that we are in this kind of like triangle pattern. So the story was on this trend line is every time price touches this trend line, it bounced, it pushed down, push down, push down. So if price was to ever make its way back up here, it could potentially push down, and that is also in alignment with this negative 61.8. So if we do not get rejections here at this negative 27, then I'll be potentially looking for rejections at this trend line right here. So with CPI coming out, if we do break this trend line, then I could look for a potential retest, and then I will look for a price to potentially push up higher to the next potential highs. That's what I was kind of speaking about on a daily time frame, that we could look to push higher. But that's something that we have to, wait for more data. Like, we don't try to predict too far into the future. We have to just focus on what's applicable right now. So I'm not looking too far into the future. I'm only focused on this, and then I'll take it step by step as we gather more and more data. Because if price rejects from that area, then we could potentially come back and push back down to these lows right here. So, and like I said, that's why you want to pretty much react to the market and not try to overall predict it. So overall on US 30, like I said, I had this coming to the negative 27 TP, and then I need to see if it's going to reject at that area for a potential push down, or if we're going to come up and test this trend line one more time. For NAS, on the weekly time frame, we can see here that we have been in this overall downtrend, and then we kind of got this push up that broke these structured lows. So last week we talked about price coming back to test these previous highs that got broken. We didn't really test like this main area right here where these candles closed. We kind of came up and tested this wick. So I'm trying to see if price is going to retest that area or not. But we'll just see as price develops this week. So on the daily time frame, you can see here we had a clear impulse, and then we started to get our correction. So now if I draw a fib from point A to point B, you can see here that we are currently at a 23.6 retracement level. But I want to see if price, like I said, come back, test this 38.2. Now on a 4-hour time frame, you can see here that we are in this overall uptrend. So the story on this overall uptrend is every time price touched this line, pushed up, it pushed up, it pushed up. Now currently we are at that trend line again, so we could look for price to potentially push up from this area. Now as we break it down to the 1-hour time frame, we can see here that we are at this major level of support and resistance. So if I even just draw this like zone right here, we can see here that we're at this level. So I would want to see price to push away from this area, break through, come back to retest, and then we could potentially come up to this trend line. However, if we do respect this area, this main area of support and resistance, then I'll potentially be looking for sell opportunities, but only if we break and retest this level of support right here, because right now we're kind of in a critical area where it's not super clear what price wants to do just yet. So either break up to the upside or retest, and then the first stop you'll carry to is this trend line, or if you break beneath this red support level, then we know we are coming down further to get that deeper retest like we talked about on a daily time frame. So for NAS, I'm just gonna set alert just to let me know that price is crossing beneath there, and then I just need to set alert for price to be crossing above there. So we'll just see how this pretty much plays out throughout the week, and then just take it ear by ear, right? So this NAS already had hit this negative 27 TP that we talked about last week. So you can see we had this ghost pattern, and I talked about price coming back to this negative, to this red like trend line type thing here. So we had a point A to point B, and you can see here that negative 27 got hit, and that price instantly rejected off of that area. So that was the bias that we had last week on NAS, and that eventually played out. So that was good for the for gold here. We can see last week we talked about price coming back into this zone. Price never really came back into the zone. Price pretty much just consolidated in this area, and then we got that fall. So last week we spoke about price coming to this area to watch price here, and then we'll be looking for a potential fall. So for gold this week, I'll be looking for to see how price really reacts. So you see on this weekly time frame, we have a series of a high, a lower high, and then another lower high getting formed. So as long as this continues to maintain, then I'll be looking for price to push down a little further, potentially into this area right here, this previous level of resistance, and that could be acting as a retest of the structure that got broken. So we broke above here, and then we could potentially be looking for price to come back and retest this area right here. So on the daily time frame, it's pretty much the same concept. We can see here impulse. So we can see here that we have this impulse that broke this, and we never came back to retest this area. So I'll be looking for a price to potentially come back to that area as well. On a 4-hour time frame, we can see here that we have this area right here that got broken, and that's what I was pretty much looking for, price to come back to retest that area last week, but we did not. So I'll pretty much be looking for to see what price does at this area. So we sitting at this level of support. I want to see if price is going to continue to break down and potentially come down to this negative 27 based upon this fib right here, or is price going to eventually give us that break and that retest to go back up into that area that we were looking for last week, and then give us that drop to the downside. So like just pretty much the same way as NAS, we got to play it by the ear. If this sells from this area right here, then I pretty much won't be looking for it, because it's already kind of already at the low point. So I'm not gonna really be looking for sales unless we come up to this, like these highs up here, and then I'll be potentially looking for more selling opportunities. But if we do get the break and retest of this green line right here, then I'll be looking for buying opportunities. But my bias is pretty much price to come back down and hit this negative 27 TP. So I'm pretty much looking for sales on gold, but if we do break above and come back to retest that area, then that'll be perfectly fine before we get that big drop. So I hope this video was super helpful for you guys. Like I said, you can go purchase the 2-day webinar on www.lidofx.com. Also, for the Blueprint members, you guys have an access code inside of your course that'll give you a pretty big discount on that 2-day webinar as well. So if you guys want to purchase that, also I spoke about in my last videos that my enrollment for the Blueprint for my actual online students is available as well. So if you ever thought about being a student of mine, definitely take advantage of that and become a Blueprint member. A lot of Blueprint members have been passing their funding challenges, been seeing a lot of success, been having a high win rate with their trades. So definitely want to be a part of that community. Those members, they, like they talk into the group chats, they, express themselves and they show their analysis on a week-to-week basis. And I'm super proud of them because they are absolutely killing it right now. So that's always a plus. Look out for a couple more videos this week. Just like some vlog type videos and not just like the typical market forecast videos going forward. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hope this video was super helpful.